Before this video starts, I would like to give a big thank you to DeckDraw SYA for letting me guest upload on his channel. Let's get straight into this. So in Yu-Gi-Oh! There is something called staples, which are cards that can go into any deck. Some staples are dependent on the format, but in this video I'm going to discuss the top 10 most important cards to own in the 2018 to 2019 season of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Number 10. Link Kuriboh. So at number 10 we have one of the most important Link monsters to be introduced, Link Kuriboh. Now why is this card so important? Well, the most important thing is the fact that it's arguably the most generic Link 1 monster, requiring any level 1 monster. This card is good with tokens, obviously level 1 monsters, and as more decks come around, you'll be seeing this card in most of them. Number 9. Evenly Matched. This card isn't always relevant, but when it is, it's incredibly powerful. The fact that you can easily remove your opponent's field by simply giving up your battle phase for the turn is quite amazing. Think about this against a deck like Altergeist. They can easily set a good portion of their hand turn 1, and then on your turn you can remove all your opponent's cards except one. This is incredibly powerful in some formats, but it's generic enough to warrant a slot on this list. Number 8. Pot of Desires. Arguably the best draw spell in the game as it's so generic, this card might banish a lot of cards from your deck, but at the same time it's a +1. Having access to the extra cards is absolutely amazing in decks like Pendulum for example, where it doesn't matter as much what you banish, but it being a Pendulum deck, it needs all the resources it can get. So having the extra card is absolutely amazing, not only in Pendulum but in quite a few decks. Number 7. Droll Lockbird. Moving on to one of the more relevant hand traps right now is Droll Lockbird. This card is very powerful against a deck like Goki that can combo off like crazy. This card also stops decks like Strixar Sky Striker. The fact that some decks can't search after you play this card against them is absolutely devastating, considering the fact that some decks can easily OTK afterwards, but as well it's just a skip your turn, which can be absolutely amazing. I would put this card higher on the list if it weren't for the fact that it's not good in every format, as well there are a good amount of decks this card isn't good against, for example a deck like Altergeist. Number 6. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This card is absolutely amazing. Being the first Ghost Sister hand trap, this card is very amazing even after it's been around for almost 3 years. This card's real only purpose is the ability to remove cards from the field. Even though it's such a simple purpose, it's such a powerful one at that. Being able to, for example, deal with a Heavy Metalfoes Electromite, a Spiral Resort, a Firewall Dragon, etc. Number 5. Spellstuff's Trap Removal. This is the part where we swap to cards that will always be good, unless Power Crept of course. Twin Twister and Cosmic Cyclone are by far the best spell and trap removal cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Twin Twister destroying 2 spell and traps by discarding a card as cost, and Cosmic Cyclone being the best card at 1-for-1 trades with spell and traps, by as well banishing the card for a cost of 1000 life points. There are other removal cards like the infamous Mystical Space Typhoon in niche decks in circumstances, and Heavy Storm Duster for when you're going first. However, the 2 best are by far Twin Twister and Cosmic Cyclone. Number 4. Infinite Impermanence. Flames of Destruction was an incredible set, not on the same caliber as sets like Duelist Alliance for example, but it's definitely a set to be remembered. The first of 3 cards from the set on this list is Infinite Impermanence. This card is really good. The fact that it's a trap is incredibly powerful. It dodges Called by the Grave, it helps stun decks immensely as it's a trap, and it's overall an amazing card. It inherently power creeps Effect Veiler until Needle Fiber comes out. It can be activated on your turn, which will be relevant when the new Thunder Dragon archetype comes out, and it's just an incredibly powerful card. Even though it's expensive, if you can afford it, I would recommend picking it up. However, if you can't afford it, which I completely understand, I would recommend buying Effect Veiler, which is not as good of a version of Infinite Impermanence. Number 3. Called by the Grave. So Called by the Grave is the end-all be-all best counter to hand traps. While Sideframe Gear Gamma is good and more powerful, Called by the Grave is the more consistent and versatile option. This card's effect is as follows. Target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. Because most hand traps have to discard from the hand as cost, this means that you can chain Called by the Grave in response, in order to negate the effects of the hand trap. Even when it doesn't stop hand traps, this card is amazing at acting like DD Crow, as it can easily just banish any monster from the graveyard that you want. Also, as the game progresses, this card can be used to negate the effects of any monster by banishing a monster from the graveyard with the same original name. Overall, because of the versatility and ease of use this card brings to the table, and how popular hand traps are, this card is definitely a card you need to own. Fortunately, it's a common 2 for all you budget players. Number 2, Nightmares, including Nightmare Phoenix, Cerberus, and Unicorn. So I kinda bunched 3 cards together for this slot, as I feel each of these are equally important. These cards are the Nightmare monsters, more specifically Nightmare Phoenix, Cerberus, and Unicorn. These cards are amazing and incredibly good. The reason being is because of how generic and powerful they are. They each only require at least 2 monsters with different names, and by discarding 1 card on Link Summon, you can either destroy 1 spell and trap your opponent controls with Phoenix, 1 special summon monster in the main monster zone with Cerberus, and shuffle any card on the field into the deck with Unicorn. Even though Unicorn requires 3 Link materials, while Phoenix and Cerberus require 2, that doesn't make them any worse than the others. All 3 of these Link monsters are incredibly good, and you 100% need to own at least 1 copy of each to move forward as Yu-Gi-Oh! Keeps evolving in the Linked era. Number 1, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So the most important card you could own in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! As of right now is indeed Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This card is incredibly important as hand traps are a staple in every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is the best hand trap in the game. The fact that you can negate any effect that includes searching from the deck, special summoning from the deck, and slash or sending from the deck to the graveyard is incredible. Fortunately, this card is getting a super rare reprint in the upcoming Shadows in Valhalla, which is absolutely incredible for you budget players out there. It is so versatile in what it does, can hit a card in basically every deck, and definitely has to be the number 1 slot on this list. Thanks for watching, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you notice any cards I missed or any changes you would make to the list, comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give a like and subscribe to both me, BladeYGO, and DeadDrawSYA to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.